Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's podcast is the fifth episode of everything I've been doing so far of the Brokecast. And today is going to be kind of a quick little snippet of what's on my mind lately. I think I was going to talk about persistence and consistency, but first I want to talk about a few different things that have kind of been in the news lately. Just what's on my mind right now. You know, I like to do these podcasts early. I also like to do them if I have any time over lunch to kind of get my feelings out there and kind of get my thoughts out there to kind of ground myself, and that way I don't have to keep them on my mind all the time. It works for me. You guys should check it out sometime. Maybe see if it works for you too. A lot of people do like journaling and things like that, but for me, I'm kind of finding this like video vlog thing / podcast to kind of work for me. So one of the big things in the news is the whole Ruth Bader Ginsburg death, and it's really sad to see such an American icon go that's been so prevalent in the history of our country, that's helped get so many things passed and has fought for equality her entire life. One of the interesting things I read recently was actually this article that was discussing Ruth Bader Ginsburg's relationship with Anthony Scalia. They were basically diametrically opposed viewpoints, but they found common ground together in how they saw things, and it was kind of interesting to read. If you guys ever get a chance, check it out. But I think it kind of encapsulates a lot of the things that I think people should strive for in general, which is, just kind of working with people that you may not realize initially that agree with you, but together you're human, and that's the beauty of it. You know, we're all flawed creatures. We're never going to always agree with someone, but if you love your fellow humans, if you care about people more than just opinions, and you see them as more than just opinions, and you actually see them as uniquely flawed individuals just like yourself, it's really easy to form that common ground with them and to kind of bond over certain things. So I thought that was really cool. She's definitely going to be missed, and hopefully they bring someone in that can be at least half as great as she was, so that was kind of on my mind recently this week. It's a sad thing to think. Another thing that I've kind of been thinking about lately, which is kind of random, is all these like seltzer waters I've been drinking, right? I've noticed that I've been doing these like podcasts while drinking them, and my mouth is getting like dried out. So, who knows? Maybe these aren't so great for you after drinking them for a while, but it's better than soda, and every once in a while I get tired of water, so I have a sip of this. But they are pretty tasty. It's kind of interesting how they've become so prevalent in society, whereas it was kind of water and then it moved to soda in the 90s. I just remember everyone drinking soda in the 2000s. I remember everyone drinking soda. And then a few years ago, it was kind of like seltzer water just took off, and it's kind of cool. I like the burn a little bit, I'll be honest with you. It's kind of the reason why I like certain types of alcohol, certain carbonated things. It's just a little bit of pain makes it feel pretty decent. I don't know. It's my thing. A lot of people have different things. And sorry if you hear any noises. My cats are wilding out right now, so I can't really help them with that. They see another cat outside. But yeah, so that's kind of like what's been on my mind, I suppose. But this morning I was really thinking about persistency and consistency, right? And some of the interesting things about persistency and consistency, what it means to me, and how I try to bring that forth in the things I do as best as I can, even though it doesn't always work out. It's still something that I try to fully embrace, and I think everyone should as well. And what do I mean by persistency and consistency, right? For me, basically persistency is kind of doing something again and again and again and again, right? And then consistency is kind of getting the same result that you're trying to get, or improving upon that result again and again and again. And I think they're linked together. And I think to be successful at anything you do, it's important to have both. You have to consistently shoot for a target that is kind of relatively similar, and you have to consistently do that. You have to consistently shoot. If you thought about it like archery, right? There's the whole debate on accuracy versus precision, and it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, you want to hit the target board every time you shoot an arrow, But not only that, you want to obviously shoot for the bullseye, and you want that grouping of arrows to be very concise, or precise, if I'm not mistaken. If I have these mixed up, by the way, don't come after me for it, but feel free to let me know. But essentially, it's kind of like the same thing, right? And so for me, when I try to incorporate these pieces into my life and into everything I do, it's like I want to be consistent. I want to consistently produce results that are better and better and better each time. And I get sad, personally, if they're not so great, like to me, because it means that I didn't work hard enough on something. And that tends to sometimes become a negative at times, and a limiting factor, because I look at myself and it's like, I could have done better. Or maybe it's the best I could do, and I still get sad kind of, because it's like, okay, I'm not getting any better, and that's okay. It's something I'm trying to realize and learn in my own life, that it's okay to not always get better as long as you're trying as hard as you possibly can, which you have to be honest with yourself when you're trying, because you can't just half-ass it or be lazy to get something accomplished. You really have to focus all your efforts on something, at least for a short amount of time, to really consistently get that same result or consistently do better, right? And then persistence is kind of like, to me at least, if you don't want to get up and do something, what's to force you? Well, there's like that little voice in the back of your head that's kind of like, hey, you need to get up, you need to finish and do this. I woke up this morning at like 5:30 to go hit the gym. I had an amazing workout. I feel so good. And that post-workout feel is like completely the opposite of getting out of your bed in the morning, because you start out with this feeling of, the last thing I want to do is get out of bed, get out of this warm bed, to then go to the gym and go lift some weights, go run the treadmill a little bit, go for a walk, hit the Stairmaster, whatever it is. But then afterwards, you basically finish with that, and, it's like, holy crap, like a whole world has opened up. Like, I feel great, my body feels good, and that's from persistence, right? At least to me, I persistently kind of like fight myself and my urges to not do something that I know it is going to be negative. Like, yeah, sleeping is great, it's totally important, but for me, I know that I probably get enough sleep. I feel better after getting a workout, and it kind of sets up my whole day for me to do well, right? So that's really what it is to me, and you look at other people in history where this has been incredibly prevalent, and it's you can take a lot of different examples. We were just talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? She was incredibly consistent, incredibly persistent in, getting a lot of civil liberties and civil rights things pushed through to put forth equality. That's something that's quite incredible. I see that as a role model trait that I would totally love to follow, and I wish I had half of her effort and gall to do that myself, There's other people. You can look at musicians too. One of the most interesting musicians that has been in the music scene for a long time, and has a lot of different hits and puts out a ridiculous amount of music, is Anton Newcomb of the Brian Jonestown Massacre. And I was watching this Parts Unknown episode with him. Poor Anthony Bourdain, miss him to death, but he was talking to Anton Newcomb. Sorry, these cats, stop. Crazy little buggers. And basically Anton was saying, hey, I put out a song basically every day. I upload it, and then it's on to the next thing. That's crazy to me. And he does that because he has the confidence in what he's doing, and he's been doing it for so long. It's that persistency that's driving him to be consistently good, to consistently put in the same amount of effort and better effort, but then to also do it, right? It's not just the effort he's putting in to get the result. It's the effort he's putting in to actually put in effort, right? And that's the difference of the two to me. And it's really cool. You see a lot of people that have these one-hit wonder songs, and it's like, I wonder if they would have done better if they would have been more consistent, if they would have been more persistent. Oftentimes, I think that's probably the case. I think that a lot of times folks sell themselves short because they're lacking one of the two traits. You see this in a lot of athletes too that are naturally talented. They can absolutely crush whatever they can, but they don't consistently put in the effort because they think they're too good, and they don't train hard enough, and then they get knocked out the next year because an athlete that was half as good was just more consistent and persistent than they were. And it's kind of a sad thing, but it's a trait that I think is so important to us as humans to be successful, to enjoy ourselves. And you want to incorporate that into everything you do. You want to incorporate that not only into your work, not only into your studying, your research, your home life, making yourself better, but even in the fun stuff you do too. Like I spoke about this earlier, but it's important to make sure you have a hobby or a talent or something you like to pursue outside of work that you persistently do and you can grow on. That's a human trait. I think we all need like an outside thing to kind of level set us, to keep us grounded. So many jump cuts right now. These cats are driving me absolutely bananas. That's okay though. In any event, what I was saying, just to close this up, I guess, before I get off topic too much, is that these things are important to incorporate into who you are, into who you're trying to become, and into basically who you want to be. And it's always good to pick role models where this is a prevalent factor, because if you pick a role model that's just naturally talented, that doesn't put in the effort, and that's not to say that all natural role models don't put in effort, it's just to say that some of them don't think that it's necessary because they think they're too good. That's a very slippery slope into being lazy, into not practicing your craft, your skill, or what you enjoy doing. And it basically puts you in a position, sets you up for failure, so that when and if you do fail, and I highlight when you do fail, because everyone will fail at some point in time, it's going to hit you really hard because you're not going to be prepared for it. You're not going to have the ability to get back up and get back out there and say, look, even though I've been consistent this entire time, I got to start again. I got to try harder. And that's that persistency kicking in. And so that's where I'll kind of leave it off. Maybe I'll throw on another video later today and we'll see how we go from there. But that was really what's been on the top of my mind. And it's something that hopefully I can incorporate into this podcast, and hopefully I can see and learn and grow. And I'm already seeing myself get a little bit better, feel more comfortable in front of the microphone, in front of the camera. And I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying getting my thoughts out there and putting out what I feel to be something that's decent. I could always get better. Trust me. There's a lot of work I need to do to improve on. And I want to consistently improve personally. And I want to persistently upload episodes that I feel comfortable in, and just kind of fire them out there and watch that journey grow. And that's one of the beauties I find of like podcasting and this YouTube thing in general, is that I can see myself from where I start, and I'm already seeing improvements, and that's just like lighting up a fire underneath me. That's like, oh my gosh, you can actually get better at this, and you can become, someone who can speak better, who can be more comfortable in front of the camera, someone who can handle a mic. It's cool things to have. And going into this new generation where everything is kind of put online, that's a big skill that I want to keep, and I want to keep prevalent. Someone was once telling me that one of the ways you kind of know you're getting old is when music starts sounding bad to you. And that kind of scared me a while ago. And I was like, okay, well then how do I fix that? It's like, well, if music's sounding bad to you, it's because you're not connecting with the next generation. All music sounded probably crazy to the generation that, was coming after them or whatnot. And it's because they didn't understand it, right? And I fought that as much as possible in my mind to try to understand why, the next generation likes music. The next generation has their own certain sound, which is really cool. And I've hopefully kind of started enjoying it more and more so. In the same way, to connect with your audiences, it's always good to work on those skills that you're not so great at, And for me, I was always afraid to like upload videos, but hopefully this is a way that I can kind of like beat that down and kind of grow. And hopefully we'll be able to, keep this going, and maybe we'll see where we end up. Hopefully it's a good spot, and I'm planning on just getting better either way. Now let me go take care of these cats. So I'm going to have to end this episode shortly, but like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you liked, and I will hit you up with another podcast later on. Again, this is the Brokecast number 5. Bye guys.